Hey guys, I'm going to post a good video today. It's going to have a lot of good content. I encourage you to watch the whole thing, not only the first minute or two, because I'm going to go over everything on here and explain, the logic behind it. Okay, and I also encourage you, if you want other good training videos, to click the subscribe button, and then once you do that, click the bell next to it. So not only do you have access to my videos, which are training videos from 5K all the way up to the marathon, including cross-country programs, setting your training paces, time trials, and how they determine your fitness for other events or abilities. There's all kinds of stuff on this, injury prevention and flexibility. But click the bell next to it too, so that every time I do post a new video, you're notified of it right away, and then you have you have access without having to search for it. Okay, so let's go over some stuff here. I have it broken down. This is a workout. This is a video that combines tempo / threshold with intervals, race pace running, and so on and so forth. You can combine the two, but what's important is to know how to do it, when to do it, how much to do it. Okay, so I have it broken down into two categories. This side's 5K. Okay, so if you're training for 5K, if you happen to be a coach and your athletes, like your high school girls or high school boys, are training for 5K, this is a great category. This side's here for 6K, 8K, and 10K. So if you happen to be training for those events, or happen to be a coach where your athletes at the collegiate level or any other level are training for 6K, which is collegiate women, or 8K to 10K, which is collegiate men, this side's for you. Okay, so I'm going to go over each one. Okay, so let's start the 5K side first. Here are some good options, okay? So you start with a 2-mile tempo. Now, before anything, I encourage you to do a mile time trial before your season starts, no matter how long your season is. If you've done a decent base, cycle of 6 to 10 weeks prior to, because what the mile time trial will do is it will determine your actual fitness accurately after a base period, and it'll help you set your appropriate training paces for runs, workouts, and everything. Okay, which will make calculating this and setting yourself up for this much, much easier. All right? So, first option, 2-mile tempo, and then you take a 5-minute recovery. Then you do 2 times a mile, generally at race pace or your date race pace. If you do this workout later on, you can do one at date race pace, one at goal race pace, or both at goal race pace. It's completely up to you. Okay? You take a 2-minute, 30-second rest in between the 2-mile repeats, and then you do 4 by 400 meter with a 1-minute jog at 5K to 3K race pace. Okay? That's early season or early fall. And I have it all bracketed out so you can see it. Okay? Second one, a 2-mile tempo. The reason I'm starting out with a tempo is that it gets your heart rate up. You get a non-invasive component of the training, and then allows you to transition to the harder part of the workout while your heart rate's already up. You'll get a much better aerobic to anaerobic benefit if you do something like this. And how you infuse it is important as well. Okay, so again, a 2-mile tempo, 5-minute recovery. Then you do 1.5 miles consecutively with a 3-minute recovery at race pace. Okay, and then 6 by 400 meters with a 1-minute recovery at race pace or a little bit faster, like 5K to 3K race pace. When you combine the two, hard stuff, it's 3 miles, okay? And then you have a 2-mile tempo in the beginning, which totals 5 miles. You can scale it any way you like. You can reduce this to 4 by 400, or you can modify it to your preferences. But this is a good option, and this is early to mid-season, okay? So the volume's a little bit more because you're able to handle a little bit more since it's transitioning to mid-season. Thirdly, it's 2-mile tempo, 5-minute recovery. 5 to 6 by 800 meter repeats with a 2-minute jog rest at race pace or slightly faster than race pace. Okay, that's mid-season. Okay, and you'll start to get a little bit more quality work as you get mid-season, as the races get faster, they get harder, and kind of the pressure gets a little bit more significant. Although I like to try to encourage you to keep your mind just on the workout, not to give yourself a lot of pressure. Just keep your mind clear. Just focus on the work that needs to be done, okay? So again, next one, 3-mile tempo, okay? Rest 6 minutes, okay? And it's an active rest. Jog, walk, and just keep your heart rate up, get some fluids in you. 8 by 400 meters with a 200-meter jog at 3K race pace, or 5K to 3K race pace if you need to do that. Okay, that's mid to late season. Okay, next one, a 3-mile tempo, 6-minute recovery. you transition from 400s to here 600, so it's 6 by 600 meters now, with a 200-meter jog at 5K to 3K race pace, mid to late season as well. So again, you have your tempo and then a little over 2 miles worth of hard running, okay? Then a 2-mile tempo, 6-minute recovery. Then this is a cut-down workout, a 1,200, 1,000, 800. Okay, you take 4 minutes after the 1,200, 3 minutes after the 1,000, and 2 minutes after the 800. It's at race pace and slightly faster than race pace, so 5K down to 3K race pace. And then you go 5 by 300s with a 100-meter jog after each one at 3K down to mile race pace, maybe for the last rep or two if you can. That's late season. Okay, now we're going to do, I call these bookend workouts. This allows you to combine threshold and tempo, or threshold and intervals in a way that simulates racing, okay? So the first one is a 1,000-meter rep at race pace. It can be current or goal. You take a 3-minute recovery. Then you do 4 by 1,000 meters with a 1-minute recovery at your threshold pace, your appropriate threshold pace. Then you come back and you do another 1K rep at race pace, okay? You can take a minute recovery after the 4,000 threshold, or you can take 3 minutes if you need it, or 2 minutes. Okay, but this allows you to simulate starting out hard, maintaining, and finishing hard, and with a longer effort here, so that it's not a 400 or 200-meter effort. Okay. Next one, 1,200-meter effort at race pace with a 3-minute recovery. Okay. Then you take 4 by 1,000s at threshold with a 1-minute recovery. And then you come back and you bookend it again with a 1,200-meter rep at race pace. Now, the first one could be current. The last one could be goal. It depends on how often you want to do this workout. It could be current, or goal at the end. I like current to start and goal to finish, but it's completely up to you. The rep gets a little bit longer. So this simulates kind of those mid-season to championship seasons where you go out hard, but it's not only a first 400. People tend to go out a little bit hard, a little longer, and then they start the finishing drive a little further back towards the end. So this simulates that. Last but not least, a mile at your current race pace with a 3-minute recovery. 4 by 1,000 with a 1-minute recovery at your threshold pace. And then you finish it off with a mile or a 1,200-meter effort at race pace. This should say mile or 1,200. Let's say a mile. Okay, let me actually, yeah. Let me fix that right now before I go any further. Okay, you get live time here, live time adjustments. It's just like coaching. Okay, so mile, K is the threshold, then a mile again at race pace. Okay, simulates a longer drive at the start, a longer drive at the finish. So those are great 5K options. These are workouts that are generally mid to late season, okay? Because you don't need to do tons of reps at race pace. And it also depends on the fitness of your athletes, the age of your athletes, and the level of your athletes. It's completely up to you. I mean, you could have your older athletes do this one and your younger athletes do that one, okay? Depends on individually where your folks are at, where your athletes are at, or where you're at, and what you need, because one workout doesn't necessarily accommodate everybody's needs. So this gives you options, okay, and versatility. Okay, let's go to this side now, 6K, 8K, 10K. Okay, first option, 2-mile tempo, 5-minute recovery. Then you take do a 5-minute recovery, then you do a 2K. Okay, 1.25 miles rep at race pace with a 4-minute recovery. And then you do 6 by 400 meters with a 1-minute jog at 5K to 3K race pace. This is early season for women, okay? Because they're training for the 5K, 6K, the volume's a little bit lower. And I will specify women or men, because of the volume that they're training. At this side, boys, girls, they train for the same distance races. This side's a little bit different. The volume's going to be modified a little bit based on the level races that you're training for. Okay, second one, 3-mile tempo, 5-minute recovery. Okay, 2-mile effort at race pace. Okay, rest 4 minutes. Current race pace. Okay, then you do 8 to 10 by 400 meters with a 200-meter jog at 10K to 5K race pace, or 8K to 5K race pace. Okay, that's early season for you men. Next one, 2-mile tempo, 5-minute recovery. A 1.5 mile effort continuously with a 5-minute recovery at race pace. Then you transition over to 6 by 500 meter efforts with a 100-meter jog at race pace. Okay, race pace for your 5K or 6K. You could do the last one if you feel good a little bit faster. I wouldn't encourage you to do too many of them a little bit faster than race pace style. This is mid-season for women. Next one, 3-mile tempo, 5-minute recovery, then a 2-mile effort at race pace with a 4-minute recovery. Okay. As you progress in the season, the 2-mile effort gets a little bit faster, obviously. All right. Then you're going to go 8 by 600 meters with a 200-meter jog at 10K to 5K race pace. Okay. This is mid-season for men. Next one, a 2-mile tempo, a 1.5-mile effort with a 5-minute recovery at race pace, and the same thing applies for the women too. That effort, the 1.5-mile effort, gets a little bit faster as they get fitter and as the season progresses. Okay, and then we're going to transition over to 6 by 600 meters. Excuse me. 6 by 600 meters with a 200-meter jog at race pace. And again, the last 1 or 2 reps slightly faster than the race pace is totally fine. This is mid to late season for women. Okay. Next one, 3-mile tempo, a 5-minute recovery. Then you do another 2-mile effort at 4 minutes, 4-minute recovery at race pace. 6 by 800 meter efforts with a 2-minute recovery at 10K down to 5K race pace. A gradual progression. It's completely, how many you progress or how you progress is completely up to you. Mid to late season for men. Okay, next one. 2-mile tempo, a 5-minute recovery, then a 2-kilometer effort at race pace, 4-minute recovery. Mile, 3-minute recovery at race pace. So 2K could be a date race pace or current race pace. The mile could be approaching goal race pace. And then a 1,200-meter effort with a 200-meter recovery at race pace or slightly faster than race pace. Okay, goal. And then you're going to do 6 by 200-meter efforts with a 100-meter jog at about 3K race pace. Right? That's late season for women, approaching championship season, approaching the bigger races. Okay. As the races progress, the workouts progress. The races get harder and more intense as well. So you'll be prepared for the increasing speed and the kind of the increasing pressure that goes along with it. These workouts will help ready you for those things. Okay. Next one, a 3-mile tempo, 5-minute recovery, then a 2-mile effort, 4-minute recovery. Okay, at your current race pace. 1.5 miles with a 3:30 recovery at your goal race pace. Okay. And then a mile with a 3-minute recovery at either goal or slightly faster than goal race pace. Okay, and then 6 by 400 meter efforts with a 100-meter jog at 5K to 3K race pace. So a progressively faster workout. Okay, this is late season for the men. Okay, now I did the bookend workouts for kind of your 5K, 6K. I'm going to do some bookend workouts for your collegiate level or your, you or anybody training for 8K and 10K and stuff. Okay, first one. Bookend 1,000. So the first, you do a 1,000-meter effort at race pace. Take a 3-minute recovery. Now the volume goes from 4 to 8 by 1,000 meters at threshold with a 1-minute recovery, and then another 1K effort at the back end at race pace. The reason why the volume is varying from 4 to 8 is because if you're training for 6K, it totals 6K of volume. If you're training for 10K to 8 kilometers, totals 10K of volume. And so on. So it depends on what you need or what your athletes need. And obviously the lower end is for the people training for the 6K. Okay? But if you feel that some longer stuff is appropriate, especially early season when you're doing a little bit more volume, it's totally fine. Next one, 1,200 meters at race pace with a 3-minute recovery. The same 4 to 8 by 1 kilometer or 1,000 meters with a 1-minute recovery at your threshold pace. Okay? Which simulates going out hard, settling in, maintaining, and then closing hard at the end with another 1,200-meter effort at race pace. Again, it could be current to goal, but it's completely up to you how you want to do the race pace reps. And lastly, a mile at race pace, 3-minute recovery, 4 to 8 by 1,000-meter efforts with a 1-minute recovery at your threshold pace in the middle, and then another mile effort at race pace on the back end. Okay, so you have 3 great bookend workouts here and 3 great bookend workouts here, and then lots of great workouts combining the two, so you get a good stimulus on both ends. And it also allows you to do a good amount of volume while not sapping yourself or beating yourself up too much, so that you can come back a few days later and either perform well at a race or do another workout. Okay, So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful. If you find something you find useful here, click the like button. And again, click the subscribe button so that you can get the rest of my videos, because I've got a lot of good ones on there. My Instagram page is Black Belt Running Coach. I put a lot of running content on there as well. Okay. And if you need any advice or any personalized, individualized coaching, my email is blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to help you out. All right. So again, have a great season, and I'll talk to you soon.